Hi, good evening, or e caro, bonjour, welcome, good day, mate. Wagwan. Alright, mate. Konnichiwa. The greetings. You gotta love the greetings. So, ladies to the gentlemen, to the boys, to the girls. This is your guy, your host himself, DLG Reppin. Sorry that I'm late, but you know what they say, better late than never. So I'm bringing you live and direct football context from what I've been reading. And I've got Tottenham Hotspur striker Harry Kane would make Manchester United massive according to Paul Merson. I've got the Football Association diversity plans blocked by says Greg Clark, and I'm going to be talking about Arsenal to kick us off. Actually, I will talk about Arsenal, and I'm going to be talking about the board of directors and the owner himself. Well, basically, we've played 38 Premier League games, and we've had an atrocious season. 3 different managers, 10 defeats, 14 draws, 14 wins, and finished with a subtotal of 56 points. Just simply not good enough. Not even average enough. That's how shocking we were. Excuse me. It is a bit late. Yeah. For me, we had no identity at the beginning of the season when Emery was in charge before he was sacked in November. We had no identity. All right, we won the first two league games, but after the third league game, it was just downhill from there. No identity. He didn't know that David Lewis can't play in the back four, but he decided to sign him. Well, he didn't. To be fair, it's up and down with Emery. A bit of good and a bit of bad with Emery. He wanted to sign Partey. He wanted to sign another centre half and Wilfred Zaha. He did not want Pepe. Hence the reason why I say Zaha. He did not want David Lewis. He wanted another centre half. I think he wanted Upamecano, and I believe that he wanted who did I just say now? Oh, for freak's sakes, man. Hurry up. Oh. Just bear with me, it is late. But he wanted his signings, and he wanted Partey. He wanted Zaha. Instead of having Partey, he get Torreira, and he wanted a centre half. But he got Lewis instead, Upamecano. But fair enough. He had to accept what was given to him. Where, for me, when the board employed him, or when Gazidis employed him, the new board at B, meaning the Josh Kroenke's son, Edu, Raul, well, not so much Edu, but Raul Sanlihi and Vinay Venkatesham, many of them three threw him underneath the train and let him rot to death. And there's our Premier League table. We're 8th. We finished 8th in the table. 14 wins, 14 draws, 10 defeats, 56 goals scored, 48 goals conceded. Just not good enough. That's shocking. That is just utterly shocking. For example, Crystal Palace have conceded 50 league goals. We conceded 48. Our defence is no difference to theirs. Only 2 goals difference. Obviously Liverpool, Man City, United. The funniest thing is Chelsea's defence has conceded more, and look at where we finished. All right, Leicester and Tottenham conceded 1 less than us, and Wolves 8 less than us. Well, there you go, they're better than us anyway. All right, we took 4 points for them, but anyway. So going back to the Emery situation, since He was, yeah, he was in charge for the beginning of the season up until November. The players kept on mocking him because he couldn't get his philosophy across, which means he couldn't get his instructions across, you know, the whole squad, the playing squad. He just couldn't get his formation right. He had difficulties communicating with the players, couldn't get his message across. So the players, they fell out with him apparently, and he didn't help himself at the same time, where suggesting that he's gonna have five captains, five club captains. What the fuck was that all about? What the fuck was that all about? Seriously. Good evening. Should I say? I should have said that to kick it off, but seriously, Emery let himself down. And at the same time, he tried to do good. One thing that I'll give him credit for, he showed Ozil that no matter what you are, you're the only number 10, but I don't like you. You are not playing. It was clear and obvious to see that he didn't like Ozil, and neither does Mikel Arteta. But it's not so much about Arteta, it's about Emery's time at Arsenal. Well, from the start of the season up until November, where he was sacked, and rightfully so. The results went downhill after the Liverpool game, and embarrassingly losing to Eintracht Frankfurt at home. Just got worse, and that was the last straw from him. And one interview in mind, I think it done it for me, from AFTV. Lee Judges being interviewed by Robbie Lyle. Do excuse me. Big up yourself, Lee Judges. Yeah, keep doing your thing, and keep coming on the AFTV. You're a pleasure to watch. So, and a gentleman as well, should I say. So, the Arsenal situation in the league has been appalling. Our whole season has been pathetic. I want to use words that I shouldn't really use, because I don't know who's watching. So I need to be really careful how I say things. But it's been an utter shambles. And I'm looking at the league table now. I want improvements for next season. At least a push to the top 4. We've got to go all out and get a top 4 place. But this brings me on to my next thing. Our hierarchy. Our owner. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the owner first. I mean, credit where credit is due. He's helped us wipe out the debts that we had. So the only debt that we have is him. And he could play the see you next Tuesday game. Or he could be reasonable. But I can't put reasonable. I can't put my finger on reasonable with Stan Kroenke's ways. His track record and his wicked ways suggest that you can't trust that guy. You can't trust a word that comes out. Well, he hardly says a word, but you can't trust what he may do. And this is the guy that we are screaming at to back Mikel Arteta. He has to help him by backing him in this transfer window. He's got to the 5th of October to strengthen this squad to near the elite, near to the point where we can challenge the top 4, because we're getting left far behind. I mean, this is our lowest finish in the league table in 25 years. Let that sink in. It's just simply not good enough. Utterly not good enough. The football that we played during this season, especially under Emery, and maybe a bit of Ljungberg, the football has been atrocious. There's no direction, no oomph. There's just no direction. Captains was lacking. End product was lacking. There was so much negativity about our football. There's nothing positive to get excited about. And speaking of Josh Kroenke, this is the man who sat there in an interview and said to us Arsenal fans, we should be excited. Am I excited about finishing 8th in the league? Am I excited that we've got 56 points to look on? That's how many points behind the champions? 34 points, 34 points behind the champions. Pathetic. pathetic. And yet again, the banter side is on us again. The bragging rights are on Tottenham because they finished 2 places above us, 3 points. All right, 3 points clear. It's just not good enough at all. And I'll look at the team that we've got out there. I mean, some of these guys, they failed under Wenger's last reign in power. They failed in his last reign in power. Bellerin has failed since Wenger was in charge. You know, I'll look at the goalkeeping situation with Martinez. He's been there for 10 years, but he's excelled under Arteta, and he is winning Arteta over. And he's winning, not just Arteta over, he's winning me, and I think he's winning millions of fans around the world over. It's just going to take time. He's at least winning thousands and thousands of fans around the world. He's winning them over, and so is Bird Leno. The only left back that we have at a club that is winning us over is Kieran Tierney. Arsenal fans around the world know who he is. The world's going to know who he is, and for me, he is an out-and-out defender, the future Arsenal club captain. Let me tell you that. I look at our defence, David Luiz. I can see why not even Emery wanted him. Emery, a manager who failed, really. Yeah, he had some things to say. All right, he goes to the newspapers and said his relationship is the reason why he failed at Arsenal. He come out and said a few things about Ozil, even though he made some points, some good points. But again, it's just out of sour grapes. And there was other things he said out of sour grapes as well. But again, he did have his points. So it's up and down with Unai Emery. The centre half, Socrates, he can go. Mustafi, he's just never going to be good enough for us. Mavropanos, time will tell, as far as I'm concerned. You know, he's had a handful of games, but a couple of them have been rotten, complete, diabolical. But time will tell with him. Holding, I'm going to give him to the end of next season. At least give him to the end of next season. Chambers, sell or go. I'm indecisive, but another one I'll give to the end of the next season. I would like to see Zach Medley break through. See what defender we actually have, but we can't have any Mansalaba at the same team. We need someone. We need to go out there and produce a signing of an experienced quality centre half who can pass on the torch to Salaba, because Salaba, I want him. I would like to see him there for at least nearly 10 years, Salaba, providing he is that quality, that class, that he's going to go on to be that world-class centre half that we crave for. We need to make sure he stays at the club for nearly 10 years as a legend, living legend. We need, like I said, this centre half, he's going to be in his mid-20s to late 20s, but he's going to come with some experience. Who that is going to be, that we don't know. I mean, we are looking at a centre half. Nathan Ake is still available, and maybe Lewis Dunk would fancy a challenge with us under Arteta. And the way we defended, I mean, I don't know if Lewis Dunk was much watching a Man City Arsenal game, FA Cup semi-final, but if he saw the way that we can defend, I'm sure he will fit in superbly. We need a bit of change of direction. It doesn't necessarily need to have pace, but he understands the game, he reads the game, and he acknowledges every danger spot there is in a defensive situation. And Lewis Dunk has got that in abundance. I wouldn't mind seeing it. I would like to see him at my club next season. I mean, there's other foreign defenders that I do not know about as such. This Mangalas guy of Lille, the Brazilian international, only 22 years of age, but we need someone with a little bit more experienced. The midfield has been the weakest I've seen in years. Just disgusting. I know Xhaka and Ceballos have been performing well of recently, but that's just recently. They haven't been consistent for 2, 3, 4 seasons, nowhere near. Xhaka has been inconsistent in the 4 seasons he's been with us. His ability on the ball has been poor. Gives the balls away in such stupid and dangerous areas at times. It's like he loses concentration or he just doesn't plainly give a shit. When running after an attacker, you can see that he's slow and his mobility is just so low. It's just so low. It's unbelievable. So Bayos, he has been performing as recently, but again, and the same with Xhaka, they've both been performing, but again, there's been times where Ceballos has been so completely sloppy on the ball, completely out of concentration, out of his concentration levels can be so dire. It's beggars to believe. The midfield needs a change. We need a ball tackling midfield player, and let's go out and get Thomas Partey. Show our intention as a football club, as a big football club, because we're showing our intention as a joke football club. Let's be real. The attack, well, it's more Aubameyang makes our attack look like the elite. Lacazette, if he gets goals, he is a happy striker. Eddie Nketiah, I'm happy to see him in the first team for what Mikel Arteta is asking of him, for me. So, yeah. That sums up the squad that I've talked about. And the board of directors need to pull your fucking fingers out. Seriously. We're in a situation where we could sink down this Premier League table. You need to fucking pull your fingers out. Edu, not so much you as such, but you could do a little bit more. That's my little criticism to you. I'm aiming at you, Raul Sanlihi, Vinay Venkatesham, and you, Josh Kroenke, the son of your dad. Like father, like son. If you don't want to pull your fingers out, be prepared to resign. You should resign. This club is bigger than any man, woman, youth or child mankind has ever created. Yeah, and that goes for you and your dad. If you do not perform in your duties, then you get the fuck out of my club. Our club, founded in 1886. Remember that. So that's my stern warning to the board. There'll be Armageddon if you fail your duties. So, moving on from Arsenal, we're going to talk a little bit about Greg Clark here, or what Greg has said. FA Board diversity plans block Clark. Football Association, Greg Clark says he is disappointed after claiming the professional game representatives on the FA board blocked a move to try and improve the diversity of its members. Well, I just read some breaking news that Paul Cook is to leave Wigan Athletic. That's Paul Cook to leave Wigan Athletic. Wigan fans, if you're watching or you're watching tomorrow morning or afternoon, etc., drop your comments in my comment section below and let me know how you feel about that breaking news. Anyway, a letter to EFA cancelled. Clark said a number of options were discussed at last week's board meeting, including making Paul Elliott chair of the Inclusion Advisory Board a director. He says the representative of the EFL and Premier League were against such a review. Well, a lot of politics going on in that FA board. It doesn't surprise me. I mean, reading what I've read here about the FA blocking a move to try and improve diversity of its members, it don't seem like a good thing to me. He needs to be the decision needs to be made for the greater good of football, and that should be the way forward, the one way forward. Right, moving on. Tottenham Hotspur striker Harry Kane would make Man United massive challenges, according to Paul Merson. Now, I've read what Paul Merson has said, and he means strong. He has said some strong things. He's come up with he suggested that Chelsea should go after John Stones because he is better off and more prepared to play in a back three than a back four. But with Harry Kane's situation, I mean, he's 27, and Merson has spoken on him before, and he said that he highly rates him. I can't remember what Merson was saying there, but boy, it quite made a lot of sense in everything that he said, and yeah, Harry Kane would improve Man United. He said that if you got Martial on one wing, Rashford on the other, and then Mason Greenwood, and you retake that, Harry Kane will get you 20 goals in a bad season. So imagine how many goals he will get Man United in a very good season. It's scary to believe because you've got Greenwood, Rashford, and Martial. He said Martial was hot and cold. When he's hot, he's brilliant, which is true. When he is hot, he is freaking brilliant. But when he's off cold, when he's off his game, he is dreadful. Average at best. It's as simple as. So I'm going to conclude this video. It's been a little bit long, but it's in a good nick of time. I'm going to wrap it up and say thank you to the ladies, to the gentlemen, to the boys, to the girls for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for putting up with me. I'll be back for tomorrow morning, and stay tuned as always. And once again, peace, love, and bless again. Right, this is a late night now. I'm going to even get some sleep if I can. So I'll speak to you tomorrow morning then. That's my aim. God bless and have a good night, and a good rest. Laters, good night.